roll with some Epsom salt foot stuff. Today is all about holiday thriving. Can you guys believe we're in day 14 already? Like crazy, right? Today we're really going to be talking about to prep you for the holidays or next week. I know some of you are traveling this weekend. Maybe you've already traveled. I'll be leaving on Wednesday. And but real quick before we get into it, hello everybody. If I'm meeting you for the first time, my name is Tanya Oliver. I am an executive coach for high achievers or people that are really looking to operate at higher levels of consciousness, mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically. But real quick, if I say anything that hits you in the heart, that creates some form of an impact or an awareness in your mind, put down that comment below so that others coming in later can see it. And invite your friends. Let them know what's up. Let them know what we're talking about. Today, I'm be sharing something pretty amazing. Today's pretty amazing. All the days have been pretty amazing. And if you have a question, please, by all means, like this, I'm just planning. But yesterday I had a question and we just talked about procrastination the whole time. And so today's topic was supposed to be yesterday's, but this is for you guys. So if you have a specific questions of something that you might be struggling with or that you would like an answer to, that you know is an obstacle and how to turn that obstacle into an opportunity or your pain into power, let me know below. We will for sure get you the answer, okay? Because that's what we do. We get answers. We get results. And so today is about willpower. All right, we talked a little bit about willpower, but today we're going to get a little bit more strategic on it because there is a system and a formula. For those of you that don't know, because they get this a lot, they're like, oh, you don't understand. I think this topic is a little too hardcore for you. Thank you, because it shows that I don't carry any more of my past into my present. And I feel like, the best way to teach is by being it. And that's what I always strive to do. And I had a call yesterday, and somebody that I learned like 6 months later after the work is they wanted to talk to me about cravings, desires, and addictions of getting off of maybe alcohol or Adderall or marijuana or toxic relationships, whatever it may be, because that's also an addiction. Things come in cycles and in patterns. And until we really learn how to clean it up, processing our pain and not numbing it, that's why we use substances or get into substance abuse and even food. Food is literally one of the most underrated substances that will really block our blessings because it does impact our brain. It impacts our gut. So if you struggle with constipation, if you're struggling with internal stuff, it impacts our cognition and our ability to be mentally sharp, mentally clear, to make quick decisions, right? So this is one of the biggest times of the year that triggers a lot of that stuff of, having a weak will. And there was days before we were talking about 5 simple ways of strengthening our willpower muscles and very, very simple things. And knowing that commitment, I did a little funny post the other day where it's like, if more people knew the shortcut is in the follow through. Today I did not want to get up. I know it looks like I just woke up, but I got up, I went to the gym. I showed in my stories, we're having like a storm here in Miami. I don't know. It's not the typical time of the season. We're at a hurricane season, but we are having a storm. So I'm like, you know what? Still show up for the habits that I've built to support my mood, because it's really easy to get in a funk, especially if the weather isn't always amazing. And if those of you that live in really cold climates and there's rain and there's snow, I went to college in Syracuse, so I get it. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And that's when my addictions were triggered the most, because my mood and my emotional state, and I did not have the right tools to help me process the pain that I was going through. And so my greatest gift is I don't regret anything in life, because it's brought me to where I am today, and I wouldn't have the character, I wouldn't have the life skills, and I wouldn't be able to have the tools to be able to share those with you guys today. So today we are talking about, and really quick, really amazing announcement. Tomorrow the doors close, so there's still an opportunity. I got messages from you guys. Yes, the doors are still open. Make sure you go to www.tanyacoliver.com/holiday and you get the exclusive VIP. We have our VIP meeting at 3 p.m. today, and you get the whole gist of this 16-page, everything we're talking about, all in one PDF, plus traveler guide, plus restaurant eating playbook. So you literally get like the triple threat, everything you need to be successful when you leave your environment, or if somebody comes into your environment. Okay. Today, we're talking about identifying your triggered emotions. There's always a trigger before there's a behavior. So we try to control our behaviors, but we have to go backwards a little bit and get clear on when I act out and when I cave in, or I feel like I have a weak will or I have no self-control. What are those triggered emotions? And typically it's like two mushrooms. I don't do mushrooms. Someone was asking me about that the other day. Two triggered emotions sandwiched is what it comes down to. And it can be exhaustion. It could be fear. It could be anger. It could be overwhelm. It could be feeling pressured. It could be anxiety. It could be worry. So when you cave into that F it mindset of like, F it, I'm not showing up for this stuff. Like, I don't want to follow through. Like, you're feeling pain. And you're seeking relief, that instant gratification. And you can do it through food. I used to be very, very much in a deep, dark hole of addiction, and it consumed me. And I was so deep down that I was suicidal at one point. And so it could get really dark sometimes, especially during this time of the year when things are triggered, when you're triggered. So I'm trying to make it as like simple as possible. This stuff really is simple. And I think that's why my clients are like, this can't be, Tanya. Like, this is so simple. I said, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy because you got to do it. You got to show up for the work, and nobody can do it. One of the five simple ways to strengthen your willpower muscles and reclaim control, is saying nobody can do it but me. I'm the one that's got to do it. And that is a big part of taking personal responsibility. Nothing changes until you change. And it can seem like a forever thing. So the best way is to just focus on today. Maybe just getting out of bed and going to the gym. And some days you're gonna be slower than others, and that's okay as long as you're moving, as long as you get back up, as long as you're trying again, and maybe this time around this year, it's not perfectly the way that you planned, but you've made progress than you did last time, So today, let me see what you guys said in here. Yeah. So today, thank you so much, is all about identifying your triggered emotions. Okay. Triggered emotions, become aware of situations, people, places, and things where you feel weak. What environments are you putting yourself in? Maybe you weren't aware of them until recently, where you feel weak. I know sometimes when I'll feel weak, or if I'll feel like in my feelings, or if I'll feel lonely, or if I'll feel susceptible because I've had a bunch of things piled on top of me and I just don't feel strong in the moment because I'm also human. It doesn't matter if you know all the tools. It's just the biggest part of self-mastery is knowing yourself and knowing when and when not to put yourself in situations that you feel out of control around. So become aware. That self-awareness is so powerful, just to take a healthy time out and recognize what are the situations, what are the emotions where I feel a loss or a lack of control over my decisions. I'm going to tell you a personal story. When I first learned this, I was like, okay, I'm going to be here and I'm not going to be a prisoner to myself anymore. I'm not going to be a prisoner to my circumstances. I'm not going to be a prisoner to my situations. I'm not going to be a prisoner to my addictions. And I'm going to figure it out, because addiction is just an attachment. So if you really understand words, addiction is an attachment. I'm attached to this, whether it being marijuana, alcohol, food, toxic relationships. But remember, everything is a mirror. So an external expression of what you're internally suppressing, maybe it being, whatever it may be. And you claim it, like, I know that I'm attached to this, and attachment is just, I need this in order to give me relief. I need this in order to help me feel good because I feel so low right now. And it's just a tool in a toolbox that is not in alignment to your next level upgrade, because you're about to be blessed up. You're about to be blessed up. And so those things that were at one point serving you, where maybe now, like, you need 2 of them instead of 3, or even coffee, like, I need like 1 cup of coffee, or now I need 2, and now I need 3, and now I need 5 because I'm exhausted and I have to get a lot of work done. One of the greatest assets we can have is our energy. And high energy, strong energy, regardless of your circumstance and your situation. This is my energy right now. My energy is super strong, but this is also me tired. But you guys would never know, because my energy is so strong, because there's certain things in place, which I'm trying to teach you guys. There's certain things that have to be non-negotiables in order to make sure that you're operating at high levels at all times, regardless of what's going on. So, personal story, when I was pressured for time, okay, so this happens to, especially as a business owner, an entrepreneur, and when you're trying to reach and achieve and like aim for your goals, when we're pressured for time, maybe you have to get a bunch of things done. It's a holiday season. Maybe you're going to be traveling. I know I'm going to be traveling. I'll take you guys with me. I get to see my family. I haven't seen them in like maybe 6 years up in Connecticut. And I'm just going to go for a short trip. And having a lot of work. We're running these campaigns. We've got a really amazing things coming up for you guys in December, January. December's like next week, in a week, crazy. And just having a ton of things. And I noticed that every time I'd feel overwhelmed and I'd feel overly exhausted and I felt pressured, I would always cave into the attachments, to the addictions. Because remember, addiction is just an attachment. I need this I need that, or else I'm like, do some damage. I need that. It's literally like this. I call it like the Hulk stress. Like this piece of you is just like, I need to have that. I need to have it now. It's an emotional hunger that we think that one substance that is actually creating us to become more of a liability than anything, we use for temporary relief, because we think like that's going to resolve things, but it makes it more worse, because the more we cave into these things, the more they consume us, and we have little to no control. They become our kryptonite. And that's just not a way of living. So when you understand these things, you can transition them and you can change them. And like, what do I feel weak around? What do I cave into for instant gratification? And then what is the long-term consequence on this? So, okay, one of the best ways to say this, they kind of all go together, is a permission-based statement. So I can go ahead and allow yourself to do a visualization, because whatever religious or spiritual background you are, visualization is something everybody does anyway. If you're going to plan your day and you see yourself going to the gym and planning out your stuff, you already visualize. I just want to put that out there, because I know sometimes that word freaked a few people out, but you're planning a vacation, you're visualizing the vacation. It's like a planning in ahead. So if you close your eyes for a moment and you get clear on whatever it is that like substances or whatever you feel like you're weak to, your kryptonite, and you can put your hand on your heart. I always put my hand on my heart, because the moment you put your hand on your heart, you instantaneously calm your nervous system. Your hands are an extension of your heart, and your heart, through your breathing, so your breath regulates your heartbeat. So if you have a lot of anxiety or if you're feeling sad, it's just a way to kind of ride the wave of this like calm energy. And you visualize whatever it is that you cave into, and you allow yourself to have it. I can go ahead and cave into that. I can go ahead and go to that one person's place. I can go ahead and, give into that, or eat that, or drink that, or smoke that, or do. And you do it because you're triggered. And then what? And then what? then the cycle repeats itself again. So I can go ahead and do and have whoever, whatever I want. But then what? It's like there's like this curtain, you know, that curtain in The Wizard of Oz where like they look past the curtain and they're like, oh my God, it's you. Like, oh my God, it's me. No matter where you go, there you are. Remember that? No matter wherever I go, there I am. So if you allow yourself to give yourself permission to go through it, through the process of it, and then you say, okay, then what? The cycle repeats itself over and over and over and over again until we change the tools of how do we process our pain and how we move through it. And sometimes something is going to feel like pain or punishment, especially when we're getting into self-discipline and self-mastery. But discipline is where you will find your greatest freedom and liberation. Discipline is the secret to your greatest freedom and liberation. And it will lead to self-mastery. And the people that have learned to master themselves, they can then master others. And that's what leaders are. And there's a difference between manipulation and influence. Influence is what leads to impact. Like, hey, I'm on the other side and I can see where you're at. And I know maybe in this moment in time, it doesn't seem beneficial or rewarding, but I promise you, come over to this side. Life is so much better over here. You're going to feel so much freedom and liberation inside of your heart, inside of your mind, inside of your body, even though it might feel like pain in this moment. And pain is temporary, but suffering is optional. Suffering is optional. And that suffering is really where we repeat these cycles of self-sabotage and we consistently weaken our willpower muscles. Because every single day that you have a victory or you have a win or you did a little bit better, and maybe you did cave into something, like you went and you drank and you decided, oh, drinking actually slows me down and impairs my thinking. And I know, like, when I have 6 drinks, I black out. I'm saying this to you guys because I have these type of conversations and it's like real life. So like, okay, well, I can have whatever I want, but let me say, okay, 2 is my jam. And then you have 2. And you made progress and you're like, actually, like, then I was slow for my workouts and I was slow for this and I didn't feel good in my body. Eventually you become so hooked. Your new addiction becomes your resonance. Your addiction becomes your resonance. Like, I want to every single day operate at the highest frequency, at the highest energy possible. And I do not want anything to slow me down. And sometimes life in general, because of maybe you just not, it's time for you to start walking instead of sprinting. Like, you're just going to be walking and that's okay. But at least you're up and you're moving and you're not going backwards. At least you're not down back that dark rabbit hole. Or you look back and you're like, wow, I've made so much progress and a year has gone by and I've made a lot of progress. I've made a lot of growth, but you don't see that until you go backwards and you audit. And you go back and you're like, wow, okay, I did good. Or you go back and you audit and you're like, how am I in the same position I was a year ago, December 2021? It's 2022. What have I been doing on a day-to-day basis to add value to myself, to add value to my life, to add value to, and it does. And sometimes it's just pouring into you and putting you first and your self-care first and your needs first, because that's what's going to charge your frequency. It's going to charge the energetic state that you operate in. And whether you believe in energy or not, like, people like, I'm tired. That's energy. I feel amazing. That's energy. The issue is we need to develop tools that are going to help us with our triggered emotions in days where we don't feel like it, but that also kind of intertwines with commitment. If you guys remember, commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the emotion you set it in has left you. And the ones that are making progress at the end of the year, every single month, are the ones that audit their life. They audit their day. They audit their habits. They audit their emotions. They audit every single thing that they do. It's not just about money. Money is a byproduct of people. Like, hello, let's be real for a moment. Money is a byproduct of people. People have money. Who has my money? I mean, like, I haven't seen money fly out of the sky to me yet. Like, everything's been transactional, and it's people want to work with you because of not only your skill level and you have something that they want, but also it's transactional. So if you come back to the core and you understand, like, I'm really big on getting to the core, like, let's pull out the weeds, let's get to the core of it. And then this way, like, you can like move forward. I asked you guys a question like months back, and this really fascinated me. I was so curious to see the difference in the different like levels of how people think and how successful they are in their life and where they're at and like what they wanted when it came to setting goals. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. An energy exchange. It's currency. Energy is currency. And I asked this poll, I said, do you want, if I were to give you every single thing to be successful with human performance and how to operate at higher levels so that will increase your cash flow, it will increase your currency, it will increase your energy, it will increase your relationships, it will increase every single area in your life wheel. I love this life wheel. All my real estate people have the bong. I was like, I got the life wheel, okay? And I asked, and it was interesting to see the different tiers of where people are and what their answer was. And you guys know what they said? So I said, do you want the whole playbook or do you want just a step-by-step sequence and like not get to see the bigger picture? And my 1%ers, the clients that I work with that are running, 8-9-figure businesses, they run events, they're into e-com, they're into real estate, they're into all these things. And they're like, I want the whole playbook. And I was like, okay. And then the other people that were like in the process of it, they're like, I just want play by play. And that's all I want. So you're dealing with people that are visionaries, and then you have people that are like either working for somebody or they're on their way towards something. And then I had a different tier of a group where they're like, I actually want both. So I want to see the whole playbook because I want to know where I'm going. I want to set that internal GPS. And then I want to reverse engineer it. And I want to see segment by segment, kind of like a video game. It's like gamification. So I want like a video game. I execute on it. And then, so it's cool to see. And I don't think there's a wrong answer. It's just also understanding like what works for you. But then again, if we have the power to shapeshift our personality traits and recreate the new and build the new, then wouldn't we want to see how other people are operating and going through through the discomfort and the pain? Because anytime that you're leveling up and you accept your next level upgrade, because you're going to know when it's time for that next level upgrade in your life and you accept it, there's going to be a process of pain. And the faster you have an arsenal of tools in your toolbox to help you process pain without becoming a liability to yourself, the faster you're going to get there. And I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and we're talking about business, and they were asking me about healthy speed. Because my biggest thing that I promise you guys is I'm going to get you healthy speed. Healthy speed is like in the post I did the other day, the one secret that a lot of people don't realize for sustainable growth and transformation, like true growth and transformation, and not to like lose it all, because that's a common thing, especially with your guys' extremist personalities. It's like an all or nothing. I'm on or I'm off. Oh, I had this, but now I don't. Like, you don't, so you're not successful. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I yo-yoed for many years in different areas of my life. You're going to have a great relationship until you don't. Okay, maybe you could get that person, but can you keep them? Can you guys keep evolving together? Maybe you can get a business, but can you keep it? Can you expand it? Can you grow it? Can you duplicate it? That's, to me, what I think is successful, especially if we align internal success with our external success. Okay, I got all these things, but how do I feel in my heart? How do I feel in my mind? Am I waking up every day feeling like I have to take a pill because I'm having severe anxiety? That's not successful, at least not in my interpretation of success. We have to align our internal success with our external success, and knowing how, number one, identifying triggered emotions, and then being honest with yourself. How do I handle my trigger emotions? How do I process my pain so that I'm actually an asset to myself and to others versus a liability? These are hard conversations, you guys. And I know, because I had to go through a process in life where I had to have these hard conversations with myself, but I didn't have anybody in my corner. And so I had to face myself, and I had to have some real conversations on how I wanted to live my life if I was still going to be here. Because living life is living life intentionally, no matter how many falls and how many face plants that you're going to have and that you have, because they're going to happen. But how do I get back up no matter the hit, no matter the fall? And then how do I prevent that from happening moving forward, right? So this comes back to building an arsenal of tools, or creating a new toolbox where when I get triggered, I'm going to learn how to process pain versus seek instant gratification and numbing myself and realizing like I didn't really deal with what needed to be dealt with. It's just a pacifier. It's a self-soothing. But it still leads to this self-sabotaging cycle. So what tools can I put in my toolbox that are going to help me? I'll share a few with you today of my personal ones. It depending on the triggered emotion, whether it being anger, whether it being cravings and desires, whether it being anxiety, whether it being these 5 obstacles, say anger, anxiety, cravings and desires, self-doubt, and procrastination or laziness, because those are the 5 core obstacles. If you break down the umbrella of all the subcategories of the other words, those are the core obstacles. And if we can understand them, that's why there's such a power in self-awareness. We can understand them, we become curious about them, then we can start to create toolboxes for when we're placed in these different situations. And so depending on what obstacles and how to transition it into an opportunity for growth and expansion, and being able to handle my next level upgrade, right? So whatever I'm about to receive, my blessings in the next level of my life, because I know every year and every day I'm going to be blessed up because I'm doing the work and I have faith and I know. And it's your time too. You guys are here. It's time you receive your next level upgrade and your blessings in your life. They're coming your way. But the question is, will you be able to handle them? Will you be able to expand upon them? Will you be able to grow like above and beyond? Because growth does not end and growth will not wait for you. You see, we're moved in 2 ways. One way is by being an active participant, and growth is not comfortable. I don't know who paints these pictures of growth being so amazing. It's nice and amazing when you're on the other side. But growth can often create a lot of triggers, frustration, discouragement, because you have to let go of your past identity and the way that you might have run life in a way that can no longer keep up with your next level upgrade. You're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to move differently. You're going to have conversations differently. You're going to have to learn some new skill sets that are going to be able to support that advancement. And that's not always comfortable. And I used to believe, and I know a lot of people used to believe, is like, well, when I get there, then it's just going to be like this calmness. When I become more enlightened, then it's going to be like, it doesn't. You're just more equipped. That's all. You're equipped and you're prepared for anything and everything. And you're strong and healthy AF so that you can handle all things. And let's be real, there's a lot of fear being instilled in a lot of us of some upcoming things that are happening to all of us to be impacted. So how are you going to be able to face it whenever or whatever hits you, whether it being something in your family, whether it being something with something close to you, whether it being your business, whether it being your finances, whether it being your relationship? Are you equipped to handle the triggers in a healthy way that you're going to come out of whatever you're going to come out of? And that's why you see me guys always dropping diamonds, because diamonds, you are a diamond. A diamond can only be formed and shine under high intense pressure, under the highest intense pressure. Let me pull this up real fast because you guys know me in my words. How are diamonds formed? Simply put, diamond formation occurs when, this is way too technical, okay, subject to high temperature and pressure. When some stones take shape in a matter of days, months, while others take millions of years to materialize. Diamonds are made, I don't care they're made, but they know that under high temperature and pressure, they bond together and start growing crystals. But before it's that, it's coal. Pretty interesting, huh? Pretty interesting. And so if you think of yourself, how do I handle pressure? How will I handle this without breaking? You know, we weren't designed to break. We were designed to shine and to be able to handle all things. But in order to do that, we have to have certain things in place and understand certain behaviors that and our triggers and what really weakens our willpower in us to operate in those levels when we need to be able to operate at high levels during all times in life, no matter all circumstances. So you guys see in my stories, you know, I joke around a lot, like about the yoga, about my workouts. Like, you guys know I do not miss those things. Me eating healthy, I do post like, did you know what you eat and how you eat it and how you combine things impacts your mental sharpness, your mood. Whether if you struggle with anxiety or you feel like you can't handle life, like all of this comes down to all these things. And so it's really important for you to understand, number one, what are my triggers? Is there a certain time of day that I feel most triggered? Is there a certain person that triggers me? Is there a certain place that I position myself when I feel triggered? And as you grow and expand, you might have this cellular memory of a place that used to be your place to like decompress, but now it actually triggers you. And that's part of the growth. That's part of you receiving your next level upgrade. Conversations are going to hit different. People are going to hit different. And so every single day, we don't have to keep taking that part of us, and nor is it fair to be more in love with our past than our future. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks all about that. He says, you know, we're so in love with our past, even though it's undesired, that we don't even spend like half the amount of time, if not a lot more, thinking about our future. And we can't if we're constantly numbing ourselves and looking and seeking for that instant gratification because you had a hard day. You know, sorry, boo-hoo, had a hard day. It's painful. How do I process it where I can move through and out of it and then get up and going versus dragging my feet in life and business and conversations and relationships? At the end of the day, like, you know, you have to do it. It's on you, nobody else. Even when you hire a coach, my clients' results are because I don't take on anybody. The core thing that I look for when working with somebody is, are they authentically going to take full responsibility for this work? Because I'm just the 1%. Any type of true transformation, expansion, and growth, and going to that next level in all areas of your life comes down to, I take personal responsibility. I created this, and therefore, if I created this, that means I can create something else. That's just how it is, and that is a big difference between the victim consciousness and the winner consciousness. Victim consciousness is, this happened to me and this is what's going on, and like they did that to me and they said this. Like, who cares? Like, you care enough to change your circumstances, and nobody can change that except for you. Nobody can change that except for you. So if we're talking about healthy speed is the faster you own up to where you're at in life, and you have some compassion and grace for cleaning things up, because that will require you. Sometimes cleanups will take a year. I'm just finished cleaned up an old past mess of some poor decisions that I made not too long ago. It took about a year of cleaning up, and it's been painful because you still have to look at it and to forgive that past version of yourself that operated in a whole different frequency, in a whole different space, whether it being fear, or maybe you were in a bad situation and you did it because that once I blank, then I'll blank. We come back to that. Like once I make more money, then I'll get out of this relationship, or once I have this, then I'll do that. Like we have to flip it now. Like, no, I need to find love within myself now, and then I will attract more XYZ. I need to get healthy now, and my business will start prophesizing because I'm operating a lot better, a lot sharper. My mood is, I have the endurance to keep up with more of the demands happening. So I hope this served you guys today. We've been on for about 40 minutes-ish. Today's Robe Sundays. And today's topic was all about willpower and your triggered emotions. So if you're just tuning in, this will be saved. Go ahead and watch the replay, share it with your peeps. And doors are still open for the holiday private VIP. It's only $197. You're going to be getting the Holiday Thriver Playbook, the Healthy Traveler Playbook, and you're also going to be receiving an opportunity to get the Healthy Restaurant. So if you do travel a lot, I'm going to start traveling a lot December, getting back into speaking, podcasts, and stuff like that. And so no matter where you go, take yourself and your healthy habits with you, because the biggest asset you can ever aim for is the energy that you're operating in. All right, you guys. So if you're going to get addicted to anything, addicted to the energy that you're operating in. And if you want in, if you're interested in coaching, you can send me a message. We still have a few slots open. Doors are closing tomorrow. So I would say don't sleep on this, but then I'm creating you to sleep on it. So I'm going to say, be woke. Wake up. All right, you guys, make sure you take care of yourself today and get organized, clean up your environments. When you have a clean environment, you have a clean environment in here. Our external is a direct impact on our internal, and our internal also our external. So if you got a lot of heaviness in here, maybe you've just been working really hard, you've been sprinting. I know that's been the case for me. I shared in my stories, I got a bunch of papers to go through because I do feel the impact of it impacting my energy. And so today I'm pulling back, going to clean up, because I know it's going to help me go in sprint mode. All right, you guys, I love you in case nobody told you today. Love you guys in case nobody told you today. Now go on and love yourself, and I'll see you in the holiday support group, www.tanyacoliver.com/holiday. And I'll see you tomorrow at 12. Bye. Bye, you guys.